with Noisography, and this afternoon we're here with the archives. Yay! Alright, so this is Noisography's first time interviewing you guys. Tell me a little bit about the band, about where the name came from, the founding members, about how you guys all got together, and kind of a little bit about how your unique sound developed.
So, Crispin and I, we've been working together, playing music together for, probably about like 5 or 6 years now. And playing music together kind of just evolved into putting a band together. And we've kind of just been doing it ever since. We grew up just outside of Toronto, and we hooked up with some people down in the city. Just started making contacts, meeting bands, and started playing shows, and just been having a blast ever since.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about your sound, the development of your unique sound? Because there's not a lot of bands that sound like you, especially we don't have that on the East Coast.
Thank you, first off. Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. I mean, we all come from kind of different musical backgrounds, but a lot of our interests are the same. Like me personally, I grew up listening to classic rock music. My dad was a huge Pink Floyd fan, but then you grow up and your interests kind of start to change. We started listening to more hardcore music and pop punk stuff, and I think that all of those backgrounds and influences kind of had its own unique take on the music that we started creating. So that was kind of where the archives came from, because it kind of was us taking our influences from growing up and what we've been listening to and what we're listening to now, and we kind of just pull some stuff from each archive essentially.
Can you tell me a little bit about the evolution from your EP Transition?
Transitions was an EP we recorded in a really weird place. We had original members that have now moved on to play in other bands. Grays, like our drummer moved on to playing Grays, which is a wicked hardcore band, or heavy band. And the other guitar player we used to have is now playing in Dinosaur Bones.
Cool.
Which is like an indie band from Toronto. Transitions, we called it Transitions because we were going through member changes. Like right during that process, Bill came on board.
Hi, Bill.
Hey. Bill's our guitar player. He's pretty rad. He used to have dreadlocks. And then we had another drummer named Kevin come on. Not this Kevin. He's our second Kevin. But so we transitioned through members, and our sound was changing a lot. Like we were developing as artists in an indie music landscape kind of thing, and the music we play is very different than indie music. So it was coming into ourselves, like we were transitioning from the indie scene to playing the music we really love, which is where we're at now with Volume 1. It's like the beginning of the archives as it's supposed to be.
All right, so you released it on vinyl. Why vinyl? Especially in this age where technology, less and less people are actually buying albums, more people are downloading albums. So why the switch to such an expensive medium?
I guess it's like, it is actually the only form, from what I've heard, of material audio that has grown in sales in the past couple years, strangely as that sounds, and it is coming back. A lot of bands are doing it, and I don't know, it's kind of something you see at the table, and it sort of has this aura to it, and hopefully it makes people kind of look back and not just glance over it and see like, oh, that's kind of cool, it has substance. And when you put on a record, it's not just background noise the way it is when you put on an MP3 on your computer on iTunes. It just kind of plays there and then something else comes on. When you put on a record, you listen to the record, you play it through, flip it over. I don't know, it's got a little bit more depth to it.
I think it's more of a tangible experience. Vinyl is the longest lasting physical form of music. Like it lasts, its shelf life is probably around 100 years, whereas a CD or a tape, they only have about 10 years, if that. So I think having that, and people collecting records, they're gonna have them for their entire lives, and it's just that physical experience and touching it and putting it on the record player that I think a lot of people are starting to go back to and starting to enjoy. So yeah,
coinciding with the release of Volume 1, you also released a music video, Mountains. Tell me a little bit about its production.
I guess we released the video kind of to showcase what our live sound would be like. Well, lots of people do music videos, and I feel that we all kind of felt that if we kind of released something from the 7-inch, one of the songs from their single, if we released it in a live format, just to kind of, you know, show everybody what we could do and show everybody pretty much exactly what we would look like live, I feel like more people would be kind of into watching it. And you know, to be perfectly honest, until we can afford to create a full-on music video, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing for the next few 7-inches. So
It was recorded live off the floor, so it's actually a different take on the song entirely. The recorded version sounds way cleaner, so it's honestly, it's a true representation of what we do, because it's all recorded live, one take, and it was filmed live too.
Which is awesome because a lot of bands cannot replicate what they do in the studio on the stage. So it's good to see what you can do right off the bat.
It's not really fair.
It gives a different angle to the same song, which is nice. Kind of gives you a new little taste of the same tune, you know?
A little tidbit.
Yeah.
We've already got Volume 2 recorded, so that's coming out in September, I think.
Plan anyways, September.
Currently on tour, do you want to tell me about a few of the stops you made? And how was your show last night at the Seahorse?
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Halifax.
Yeah, this is our first time in Halifax, and we really love it. The weather's been great, and we've met a lot of really awesome people. The show last night at the Seahorse was great. Yeah, Billy Dre and the Poor Boys blew us out of the water. These guys rule. And Out of Controller, yeah, really, really cool band as well. This is about our 7th date. We stopped off so we've done Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec City, Lévis, Quebec, yes, that's correct. And Moncton, Fredericton, St. John, and then here.
Where's next in the tour?
So we have the day off today, beautiful sunny day in Halifax, and tomorrow we head to Charlottetown, PEI.
All right, so you guys are together in enclosed spaces for a lot of this tour. Is there a prankster out of the group, out of the bunch?
I think we're all pretty much pranksters. It goes around full circle.
We're just kind of dicks to each other rather than pranksters. Pretty like blatant pranks, like it's just
Go on.
slap in the face or something, and it'll be like, ha, and then you'll go to bed, and then the next thing you know, you wake up to somebody slapping you in the face. I don't think there's been any like die-hard planning going on towards pranks at all. We've been pretty good to each other.
All right, guys, so what 90s sitcom describes you guys?
Oh, definitely not. Maybe Cheers.
Cheers? A lot of alcohol hanging out in bars?
Yeah,
With an old
that
baseball
works really
player?
bad.
We're gonna go Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
yeah, definitely Chuck Norris.
All right, general consensus on Chuck Norris. What Arnold Schwarzenegger movie describes his tour?
Kindergarten Cop.
All right, guys, where is your music readily available?
You can find us online on our website, insidethearchives.com. We have all social media links there. We have an online store, so if you want to grab something physical as well. Yeah, we'll all put on lipstick and kiss the envelope for you.
All right, guys, so thanks for hanging out with Noisography today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And again, this is The Archives.
Thank you guys so much. Come talk to me.